underway. Jaden Knott will take it off the bounce. It goes into the end zone, and so Oklahoma will begin its first offensive possession at the 25-yard line. Glad to have you along on this Saturday night in Norman. So this is what the OU fans have been waiting for, the debut of John Mateer, the redshirt junior from Little Elm High School in Little Elm, Texas, a transfer from Washington State. He's on the Maxwell watch list, the Walter Camp watch list, the O'Brien watch list. He has been picked by some analysts as a potential Heisman Trophy candidate. And he'll be joined in the backfield by Javante Barnes on this first snap for the Oklahoma offense. New offensive coordinator, guy calling the plays, Ben Arbuckle, who also was at Wazoo a year ago. Mateer to the air, complete. Gain of 4 on first down. Deion Burks on the reception. Second year in Oklahoma. He was injured a season ago, played in only 5 games.
I love the early call for Coach Arbuckle to get his quarterback really comfortable. Nice, safe throw. Don't throw it down the middle, high balls or whatever. Throw it to the outside, get him going easy.
Javante Barnes trying to get to the outside and a shoestring tackle. Patrick Bauer on the stop for Illinois State.
That's a sensational play by Bauer, coming inside out, showing some speed. Right now, Illinois State is adjusting to the speed of the Sooners, but it looks like Patrick Bauer is ready to play.
3rd down and 6 for OU in the middle of the Illinois State defense, a guy that we'll watch closely, Ty Niekamp, preseason All-American at the FCS level. His dad is the defensive coordinator. To the air, complete, but stopped short of the first down. How about that opening defensive possession for the Redbirds of Illinois State? That was Niekamp on the tackle.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want if you're the Redbirds defense. Play zone coverage, make the ball be thrown in front of you, and watch Niekamp break on it. Beautiful, short tackles, bring those arms. All young players bring those arms, and look at his buddies join the party.
Mason Kaplan came in to help finish it off. Eddie Casper back to receive the punt for Illinois State. Jacob Ulrich, the punter for Oklahoma, transfer from Kennesaw State. He is on the Ray Guy watch list for the best punter in the country. 3 and out for the Oklahoma offense. Casper going to let this one hit. It takes a big Oklahoma roll inside the 20, inside the 15, all the way down to the 14-yard line. Big punt there for Ulrich. 54 yards with no return. Now it's Tommy Rittenhouse's turn, the senior from Geneva, Illinois, and St. Francis High School. He's a 5th-year senior. Redshirted his first year, had a broken collarbone. It was 2 years in where he realized he needed a mental reset, changed everything. The way he worked out, the way he studied, the way he practiced. A year ago, he led them to the 2nd round of the FCS playoffs. Rittenhouse joined in the backfield by Winkers Wright, the senior from Floyd's Knob, Indiana. Off of his right hip, on the ground to start things off. And not much there. In fact, that's a loss of a yard on first down. Kobe McKenzie and Marvin Jones Jr. leading the way.
And so were the rest of his buddies right there with him. Listen, this is going to be an early test of this offensive line of the Redbirds. Can they at least get a stalemate? They cannot allow penetration and put this offense behind schedule. And also, the Redbirds usually go very fast, but Richard, they're going to slow it down today. They cannot unprotect their defense by going fast, 3 and out, and keep them exposed.
A little bit of history for this OU defense. Cortland Guillory, the freshman from Houston, Texas, drew the start in this game. Just the 2nd true freshman to ever start at quarterback for Oklahoma. This pass is complete out to the 15 for a gain of a couple. Javon Charles there to make the tackle.
Great job by the Oklahoma defense, playing zone coverage. That's what you want in that situation. Drop in the zone. It's okay if you get the underneath throw, but come in and rally with short tackling. So both defenses get off to a great start. 3rd and long, you got to be very careful if you're Tommy Rittenhouse. Do not put this ball at risk in this area of the field.
You try to get him on the move outside the pocket?
I would, because this pass rush, they got 4 guys that can rush. They don't need to blitz. Talking about Oklahoma, they got 4 guys can beat one-on-ones. You got to protect this quarterback.
Bottom of your screen on the end of the defensive line. Watch number 32, R. Mason Thomas, 10.5 career sacks. He had a breakout season a year ago. but flags before the snap and a delay of game on Illinois State.
Before the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Mark Curls leads this SEC officiating crew tonight, the referee in the white hat.
This is a different atmosphere than the Redbirds are used to. This crowd is going to be a part of the game.
Opened their season a year ago at Iowa, so they got the Big Ten treatment in Kinnick Stadium. They're getting the SEC treatment on this Saturday night in Norman, Oklahoma. 3rd and long, on the ground. It's Winkers right, out across the 20, to the 25, to the 30. And that's enough for an Illinois State first down.
Wow, great run. You know, Tony Peterson, the Redbird offensive coordinator, said, hey, we might run it when they think we're going to throw it. We're going to be smart with this football. And that's exactly what happened here. Oklahoma was in pass rush mode, opened up running lanes, and Winkers Wright can run the football. There's no question about it.
Gain of 24 on the carry out to the 35-yard line. So the first down of this game belongs to the Redbirds. You see Wright, 1,000-yard rusher a season ago, over 1,100 yards. And they go back to Winkers Wright. He tries to get to the left side. He's brought down by one of those big men along the defensive front, Jaden Jackson, sophomore out of Indianapolis, Indiana.
We talked about Wright going over 1,000 yards last year. He was the first back since 2019 to do so. Again, so he is a terrific back. Show me some vision there. 3 yards is good enough on first down. Just stay on schedule. Make sure you're not putting yourself behind the 8 ball. Now you can call anything you want at 2nd and 7, much better than 2nd and 13.
Empty backfield this time for Tommy Rittenhouse.
Ball's got to come out quick here.
See Oklahoma stacked on the left side of that defensive line. Rittenhouse pressure, didn't see it coming, pass incomplete. That was Peyton Bowen who was coming down hard for that strong safety spot.
So again, Tony Peterson told us we cannot hold the football. Tommy has got to see it and go. Watch him pat the football. So you can get away with this in the FCS with all due respect, but not against this front. See that pat right there? You got to let it go. Even if you throw it out of bounds, it's better than taking the hit.
Bowen untouched coming from the outside. They disguise the blitz.
Running to get hit hard. I mean, again, you got to be smart. You want to protect the football.
3rd and 7. Rittenhouse with time over the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended for the tight end. That was Javon Charles, the intended receiver. Couldn't haul it in. Kip Lewis there on the tackle.
Yeah, again, breaking on the football. Nice job of being physical with those hands. Just because the receiver touches the football does not mean the play is over. You saw Lewis being physical and ending that ball on the ground. That's exactly what you want.
Hayden Futch is the punter for Illinois State. Sophomore out of Valdosta, Georgia. Averaged 41 yards per punt a season ago. Isaiah Satania, the Arkansas transfer, back to receive this punt. He stands at about the 17. Satania trying to get to the outside. He's got some room and he's got wheels. Out across the 35, wrestled down at the 37-yard line. So 2 offensive possessions, a first down for Illinois State. No points here in Norman. 160th consecutive sellout at Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. As promised, the third member of our broadcast crew, here's Madison Hawk on the field.
Richard, nowhere else in the world I'd rather be than right here, right now, and that's exactly how Oklahoma's new offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle, feels. Arbuckle has had a lot of success at each stop, but this stop finally feels like home for him and his wife, Lauren. They both grew up just 3 hours from Norman. He told me Lauren, his father-in-law, they're both diehard Sooners fans, so they had to have their first date here in Oklahoma. We're going to see him calling the plays on the sidelines as well.
That first date was in 2012. It was an Oklahoma-Notre Dame game here in Norman. It was tied at 13 with 9 minutes to play. Notre Dame scored 17 unanswered. They won that ball game. So Oklahoma lost, but Ben Arbuckle won.
No doubt. And they're going to put Match.com out of business with that. I'm telling you right now, fans, just come to OU game. You can find the love of your life.
Well, he's been winning ever since as well on the field, and Brent Venables raves about his new offensive coordinator and his new quarterback. Matier unloads one deep down the middle of the field, incomplete. He overshot his intended receiver, Isaiah Satania III.
Well, see, this is the part of the game that OU fans want to see improvement. And this offense last year only had 24 points a game, which was good for 97th in the nation. That's not good enough. That's not OU.
And it was 15th in the SEC. They were 16th a year ago in the SEC in passing yards per game. Third down play for the Oklahoma offense, trying to avoid back-to-back 3-and-outs to start this game. Matier with time over the middle. That's complete. On the catch is Jaron Kanik, and he fumbled it at the end. Kanik, a converted linebacker. Really good hands. You saw him make the catch, pick up the first down, but Ty Niekamp involved in the catch.
Wow, what a return of events. Again, good throw, nice catch. Now watch the physicality, multiple hats on the football. I didn't see the number, but literally got a hat on the football. Let's see who that is.
Jack Dwyer, number
Beautiful.
34, came in, knocked it out. And a turnover forced by Illinois State. That was one of the keys that Illinois State talked about coming into this game. They had to win the turnover battle.
Unbelievable. Let's see if they can capitalize. Race down. Let's see if they go for a big play down the field on this one.
Rittenhouse on the keeper. He's got some space and he can really run. Dives forward toward the 35-yard line. You know, the head coach, Brock Spack, said he's not very big. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but he is a pain in the butt for opposing defensive coordinators.
Well, he's competitive. He's tough. He's not going to wilt. You talked about Kinnick Stadium. He accorded himself very well last year in that environment. He's not afraid of the moment. He's athletic. He's sort of just like John Matier, just a little bit smaller, but he can run it as well. Averaged 6.2 a carry last season.
Moving pieces around. That's Dylan Lord, the wide receiver, moving into the slot at the top of your screen. And movement up front. It's a direct snap, and now it's blown dead as Victor Dawson was moving early on the play.
Yeah, false start for sure.
Before the snap, false start, number 5, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And Victor Dawson, not necessarily a guy that we thought was going to see a lot of playing time. We know about Winker's right. Illinois State excited to get Mason King back, but they're going to be very careful with him, kind of working him back in after an injury a year ago.
Yeah, that's depth. I mean, they've got a bunch of running backs who they trust, and regardless of what happens today, that is going to bode well for them as they move into conference play and beyond.
Jack McGarry is going out of the game. His helmet may have come off. Kind of took a shot in the head. So McGarry goes out of the game. You got a new center coming into the game. That's Brayton Jellison.
Addressing that penalty, Brock Spack specifically said we cannot beat ourselves with penalties.
On the ground, it's Dawson. He's stacked up. First hit came from Kobe McKenzie, that middle linebacker.
Conservative play call, which I have no problem with. Again, you're trying to stay in control of this game. Two gapping inside, and you got multiple backers run through. So what does that mean? When you see a gap as a linebacker, you take that gap. Don't stay back. This defense is a one-gap up-the-field defense, not just with their defensive line, but their linebackers getting the backfield as well.
Jack McGarry, the center, does come back into the ball game. Victor Dawson stays in at tailback.
At some point, I want to see a hard play action to get those guys moving, see if we can get them downfield.
Rittenhouse quickly looking tunnel screen, and there was nothing there. Gentry Williams, the corner, came up and made the tackle on Daniel Sopkowitz.
Williams is a junior from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I like the physicality from this secondary. All of these guys can tackle. I mean, we know corners are about covering. We get that. But I got respect for any of the corners that can tackle and willing to tackle. And both of these guys, the young freshmen, Guillory and Williams, they will hit you.
Loss of 5 on that play.
How aggressive do you get here if you're the Redbirds?
3rd and 20 to the air. Pass complete and a tackle immediately. That was Guillory on the tackle. Cortland Guillory, the freshman. He played at Klein Oak High School. Talked about him being just the 2nd ever true freshman to start at corner. When we visited with the Oklahoma coaches, they are really excited about his future.
And they should be. I mean, he's got great length, and they say that the moment isn't too big for him. He hasn't acted like a freshman at any moment. He's just fitting right in with these upperclassmen. I'm just telling you, guys like that project very well down the line.
He had the big run early in the drive from Rittenhouse, but a penalty and then a 5-yard loss on a pass play. Fudge to punt it away. Oklahoma had a player coming on late. This one's going to hit inside the 5-yard line. It's going to be downed at the 6. A good punt and good coverage by Illinois State. 5:43 to go, quarter number 1. Still no score here in Norman.
I like zone game. I love them.
Yeah.
I love putting on that leprechaun.
Absolutely.
I look great in the orange.
Yeah.
I mean,
You get it. Yeah.
Not this week. Give it an Oklahoma head.
Oh, old school. Old school this week.
Come ready.
I'm telling you, man. Oh, God. That is really...
It was the second shot that got him. The second one was the loud one. He had that Sooner Schooner hat on. Lee Corso, a brilliant career, came to an end earlier today in Columbus, Ohio, when he donned the headgear for the very last time. and picked correctly when he put Brutus the Buckeyes hat on. A man that has lived college football for half a century. Did he haul that in? What a catch! Nakuba in coverage. Deion Burke said one hand is enough.
What a pass. Now, I like going fast here. Don't give the officials a chance to look at it. Snap the football, and it's good.
Right back to the line. Matier back to the air. This time it's Keontez Lewis on the catch. He's wrestled out of bounds at the 48. That's the first 2 first downs of the game for OU.
Listen, the coverage is really good. And Kuba is right there. But sometimes the throw and the catch is perfect. You're trying to force perfection, and folks, you just saw perfection. Wow.
So Oklahoma in business near midfield after going 3 and out on their first 2 offensive possessions. Matier keeps it. This is part of his game that people don't talk about as much. A year ago, John Matier carried the ball 178 times for 826 yards. He found the end zone 15 times as a quarterback.
Yeah, deceptively quick with it. And what I like about him is the ball security. As often as he runs the football, he doesn't lay it on the ground.
Matier looking to throw, wasn't there. Plants his foot, now tries to get upfield. Scrambles his way down to the 42-yard line. Very close, should be enough for another first down.
This is what we talked about in the open. He's a triple threat guy. He can throw it from the pocket, he can run the football, and he can also extend. This puts a lot of stress on the defense, and if all else fails, tuck it, make people miss, get upfield, positive yards. Man, he's a good football player.
Matier, great a year ago at forcing missed tackles, best in all of FBS. On the carry that time, Javante Barnes works his way down to the 35-yard line.
And outside zone was that play, and when you got that zone block and you got offensive linemen all moving together in one direction, if your back has vision, there will be cut back lanes, and Barnes exploited one there.
2nd and 4 coming up after a gain of 6 on the carry for the senior from Las Vegas, Javante Barnes. Now you've got Barnes and the freshman Torrey Black in the game, pair of running backs. Across the middle in traffic, that's going to be short of the first down and is going to bring up 3rd down and short. Tioka, one of the things that Oklahoma talked to us about was leadership with John Matier and how that developed quickly when he got on campus.
Yeah, he's an outstanding leader. He was voted a captain, had only been there since January. Now think about that. His teammates voted him as a captain, only being there in a few months. And that's really hard to do, but it speaks to the type of man he is. He understands that football is a people business. And he came in and got with his people. Now he's a captain.
3rd down and a couple. On the ground across the 30. That's enough for a first down. John Matier wasn't sure where to go when they started drills. Madison Hawks, his teammates told him where to go.
Yeah, when he arrived on campus, he went to the back of the line of workout drills, and then his teammates quickly pushed him to the front of the line and said, hey, you're our QB1 now. You are our leader. He said he was so thankful that he instantly had their respect. It wasn't the coaching staff that told him to get to the front. It was his teammates, and he told me that just meant so much to him. But his key leadership method is to lead by example.
Todd Bates, the co-defensive coordinator, told us he saw that happen and still gets chill bumps thinking about the way that it unfolded. Satania on the catch, short gain there. And you saw with John Matier on the front of that left shoulder, that captain's patch. And that says something when you've got a transfer that comes in and earns that honor.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this right now. He's a 500-pound squatter, okay? So what does that mean? When you got a quarterback who comes in the weight room and works his butt off, that inspires teammates. That makes them respect. A lot of quarterbacks don't touch the weight room very much. John Matier is not one of those guys.
Play action. Matier over the middle, wide open. That's caught inside the 5, down to the 2-yard line. Jacob Jordan, the sophomore from South Lake, Texas. Carroll High School, the powerhouse. It's Oklahoma in business.
OU is starting to get in rhythm offensively, looking very good right now.
Whistles before the play, movement up front. The signal is false start.
False start. Number 9, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Richard, watch the eyes and the shoulders. Well, we're not going to see the quarterback here. That really good seam route, though, and it opened up late. Good ball over the middle. Great job of getting the ball out of his hands. He knows exactly where the ball needs to go. You don't see any hesitation because he's been in this offense now for 3 years.
Jacob Jordan, who made that catch, came into this program as a walk-on, had 27 catches a year ago. 2nd and goal from the 7. Matier going to keep it. Trying to get to the outside. Matier inside the 5. Matier into the end zone for his first touchdown as a Sooner. Career rushing touchdown for John Matier.
He's showing everything in his bag, folks. He's thrown it from the pocket. He's gotten rid of the ball quick. He's thrown on the move. And now you run a design quarterback sweep. That ball was supposed to hit inside. How about the vision to bounce outside with quickness and physicality at the goal line?
Tate Sandell on for the extra point. It is good, and Oklahoma leads it 7-0. Inside a minute to go in quarter number 1. Took a while to get points on the board, but finally Sooner fans something to cheer about.
He's a triple threat, folks. He can do it all. Tucking the football, ball security, and look at the speed to the corner, finishing through a tackle. 7-0 OU.
10 plays, 94 yards, 5:04 off the clock, capped off by a John Mateer touchdown run, 7-0 OU in front of Illinois State. An Illinois State team that came into this year as preseason number 6 in the FCS polls. A year ago, 10-4, 6-2 in the Missouri Valley Conference. They were an FCS playoff team. Won on the road, 35-27 over Southeast Missouri State. Season came to an end at UC Davis, lost 42-10. Matt Lawson is the deep man to receive the kick for Illinois State. This one a fair catch called for at the goal line. So Tioka, a long drive for Oklahoma. 10 plays, took nearly 5 minutes.
They got into a rhythm, and a big part of it was the offensive line began to push around the Redbirds' defensive line. And when the offensive line can give time and open up lanes, you can call whatever you want. And obviously, you got one of the very best play callers in all of college football in Ben Arbuckle, and you got a quarterback who's hot and comfortable.
And so now it's the offense's turn for Illinois State. Only 39 seconds to the end of the quarter. That's going to help. How important to get a first down or two, give that defense a chance to rest?
Very important. You mentioned 10 plays.
Rittenhouse to his right, dumps it off. That's complete. Out to the 30 for a gain of 5. Scotty Preston Jr., one of the tight ends in this group for ISU.
But to finish the point, you mentioned 10 plays in that last drive. It would be a recipe for early disaster if the Redbirds can't take time off the clock and string together some plays and get a first down or two, if nothing else, to get that defensive rest.
Illinois State more than happy to let the clock tick off and go to the sideline. They are a tempo team, and yet their offensive coordinator, Tony Peterson, said, we're going to huddle, we're going to slow it down on every single play. It's our best chance against this Oklahoma team. 15 minutes in the books, the season opener from Gaylord Family, Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. 7-0 in front of a sellout crowd in Norman. Sooners in front. Redbirds of Illinois State 7-0. You see Brock Spack there on the sideline for the Redbirds, winning his coach in school history, now his 17th season. 6th in both of the FCS preseason polls. Picked to finish 4th in the Missouri Valley, a conference that Brock Spack and many others say is the SEC of the FCS. This is Winkers right on the carry, and that's enough for a first down.
Very impressive work from that offensive line. They're in 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 1 back, 3 wide receivers, spreading the defense out, which is what they like to do, and then find running lanes up inside. But that takes execution from the offensive line, and that was a beautiful job there.
6 times under Brock Spack, Illinois State has gone to the FCS playoffs. Started his career as a defensive backs coach at Purdue, went to Wyoming for a couple of years as defensive coordinator, came back to Purdue under Joe Tiller, was there until 2008. And in 2009 began this run as head coach of the Redbirds. A smart slide there by Rittenhouse. And that's one of the areas that they want him to be careful. So you don't have anything to prove. We need you on the field.
Yeah, no hero ball. It's unnecessary. Get what you can get and get down. They talked about that. This is the evolution of a quarterback with the amount of experience he has. He's adding that piece to the game. We know you're tough. We know you can run. Just be smart for the team.
Wright stays in at tailback. We've seen 2 different ones for Illinois State so far. Victor Dawson, Winkers Wright got the start. Rittenhouse to the air, a look-in pass, and that one is dropped by Sopkowitz, and that is rare. He was a 1,100-yard receiver a season ago, 2nd team All-Missouri Valley twice already in his career.
NFL scouts like his size and his ability to go up and get the football. That time, he just can't miss the layup. I mean, this is the type of game where plays like that become magnified. You run a slant, it's open, the ball's on time and on target, and you drop it.
80 catches a year ago for Sopkowitz, who's lined up at the bottom of your screen. Rittenhouse out quickly, goes right back to Sopkowitz. A flag comes in. The catch was short of the first down. We'll check the call.
Yeah, I think that's a PI, partner. I think you've got a grab to the back
Pass
of the jersey.
interference, number 4, defense. The penalty is a first down at the spot of foul.
Sopkowitz is working against the freshman. Man coverage. He doesn't want to let him inside. Beautiful job of getting inside. Here comes the ball, and there's the grab from the back of the jersey. He'll learn. Talking about Cortland Guillory. You can't grab a jersey and pull it. That's easy for the striped shirts to see it. Get in there tight and be physical with your hands. If you're beat inside, finish the play with your hands on the football.
A couple of first downs on this drive for Illinois State. Approaching midfield from the 45 to the ground. This is Victor Dawson. Short gain there on first down.
You say short gain, and it was. That's because it was excellent reaction by number 10, Kip Lewis. Victor Dawson again, another one of these backs. They're rolling in, keeping them fresh. That's very smart. Play a lot of guys early. A lot of times these FCS teams tend to wear down against the pressure of the FBS. If you've got multiple people that you trust, you need to play them and play them early.
Kip Lewis earned the nickname Pick Lewis a year ago. 2 pick-6 return for touchdown. 1 against Auburn, 1 against Alabama. Rittenhouse, pocket breaks down, trying to get away and throw it away. And, wow, that ball was incomplete. Had a Illinois State receiver that just flashed at the end, Javon Charles, and looked like he might have caught it. Rittenhouse, a good job, though, to avoid the sack.
Right. I mean, it's a nice job and a little dangerous to be throwing it that late. Here comes the blitz. Cross blitz, which was they like to do. And what, man, just how about running over the back and creating havoc? That's a nice job by Kobe McKenzie. Sometimes you want to make a guy look silly with a quick move, and other times you just run him flat over. That's exactly what McKenzie did, collapse in the pocket.
See the deliberate pace by Illinois State. Play clock down at 5, and perhaps a timeout taken. Or will be taken. They reset the play clock. Beg your pardon. 3rd and 9. Casper, the motion man. Rittenhouse over the middle. This one through the hands of Sopkowitz. Guillory in coverage.
So listen, Rittenhouse had some pre-snap information. On the motion, he knew it was man coverage, and he knew exactly where to go with the football. But against this defense, these receivers have got to be able to make the tough catch because they're not going to be running wide open against a strong secondary like OU's.
And an interesting matchup that we've seen Illinois State go to. They think they've got the advantage with Sopkowitz against the freshman Guillory, but Guillory holding his own.
No question. He's really tight there, but you got to squeeze the football. I mean, your quarterback is counting on you as a senior to make the play.
Last time, Hayden Futch was able to down it at the 6-yard line. It's the end-over-end kick. It's going to hit and roll. It's fielded by Satania. Makes a man miss. Satania across the 20. Wrestled down at the 23-yard line. That's where the Oklahoma offense will go to work when we come back. Sooners in front, 7-zip. SEC on ESPN. Norman, Oklahoma for the season opener between the Oklahoma Sooners, ranked 18th in the country, and Illinois State. Next weekend, a triple header on the SEC Network. It started with Utah State and Texas A&M from Bryan College Station. Then it's South Florida in Gainesville. DJ Lagway and the Gators hoping to avoid the fate that we saw last night. We'll finish up the day on the SEC Network with ULM in Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama. 30 of the 8 games involving SEC teams next weekend.
Nice play by Jake Anderson. He's been getting off the top of the pile a lot.
How about 8 of 9 to start the game for John Mateer? Make it 9 of 10. Jaron Kanak, he holds on to the football this time. A big play for the tight end. The senior out of Hays, Kansas, who is a speedster. 10-3 in the 100-meter.
Get excited. Boomer Sooner folks, you got a big-time quarterback again.
73 yards on the pitch and catch. This one hopper.
And he skips one after I give him that love, right? This is the easy throw, but makes the hard one. That's a beautiful ball. And leading them to grass. Don't lead me to defenders, lead me to grass. We talked about it. He can do it from the pocket, he can do it on the move, and he can run the football. Whatever you want, he's got it.
By the way, I'm not a math major. I don't think the 73 yards is right. That's okay. It was a big play. Knocking on the door of the red zone. Back to the air. How about a touchdown, Deion Burks? (13-0) Oklahoma in front.
We talked about the play count continue to mount, and what I'm starting to see are some heavy legs from the Redbirds defense. Easy in cut, no defender to be found, and that's just like 7-on-7 in practice for John Mateer. He's just not going to miss that.
Extra point good. It's now 14-0. The Sooners taking control of this game.
He was excellent last year at Wash U. Now he's got better people around him. His career is ascending, folks. 14-0 Sooners.
Oklahoma leads it by a couple of scores. 14-0 over Illinois State with 11:34 to go. Sooners went 3 and out on their first 2 drives. They put it in the end zone in their last 2.
Well, they're leaning on Mateer. OU fans, he's new to you, but he's not new to this. And what do I mean by this? He's been in the same system with the same coordinator for now 4 years. Redshirted run, right? Now he's playing, this is his 3rd year. So, you've got a confident, experienced quarterback who understands what's happening. He's leading this offense impeccably.
From the 6. Not going to get to the 20. Ball came out, it's scooped up. They spot it down, though, at the 18-yard line. Sooners fans, for a moment, thought they were about to get to celebrate another touchdown.
Ball came loose.
Reggie Powers, the 3rd, scooped it up and took it to the house, but a dead ball.
Covering up with 2 hands. And there's he down there. Forearm down, elbow down, plays down.
That's go downstairs and check in with Madison Hawks for more on Ben Arbuckle.
Yeah, that offensive scoring drive was sparked by Ben Arbuckle at the timeout before, just motivating his team, telling them to fight. Arbuckle told me that direct communication is why he wants to be on the sidelines coaching and not up in the coaching booth. The eye contact he can have with his players, reading if they're too high or too low, Arbuckle says is key to getting this offense working early.
Winker's right on the carry, made the first man miss and turned that into a 9-yard run on first down.
1,123 yards last year, 5.2 a carry, 11 touchdowns. I'm not surprised. He runs with vision, 6'1", 205, a little more powerful than his numbers show, but I like the vision and ability to cut back to open grass.
One of the players on this Illinois State team that had the opportunity to make a move to a Power 4 program decided that he wanted to stay put and finish what he had started going into his senior year.
Well, that says a lot about the culture they have with the Redbirds.
Out across the 30, another hard run and a first down for ISU.
So listen, it's 0 points on the board for OU defense, which is great. But I'm just telling you right now, Brett Venables is not going to be happy with how these backs are falling forward. Big-time defensive players, they knock the ball back. We've got Winker, Wrights, and other falling forward for extra yards, and that's not good.
Fresh set of downs from the 32 for Illinois State. Feels like a pretty important drive for the Redbirds. They've had some success offensively, but no points to show for it. Rittenhouse, quick throw to the sideline. Dylan Lord on the catch. Maddie, a little bit more on Brent Venables.
Yeah, Brent Venables told me he made the decision to call the defense because he understands that if the Sooners are going to be elite, it starts with having a great defense. And he really didn't want to put the pressure on anyone else but himself. It will, of course, be a collaborative effort. That's why he has a small desk in the defensive coach's room, because he wants to be a part of every single conversation. Guys, he also laughed and said, it's also because I'm pretty good at it. And that he is. He does have 3 national championships as a defensive coordinator.
One of the best in all of college football. He was the DC here in Oklahoma in 2000 when the Sooners won their last national championship, and then 2 of them at Clemson.
You know, I remember the great Kobe Bryant, when asked about does he trust his teammates, he said, of course I trust my teammates. They work hard, but you know what? I trust myself more. And I think that's what's going on here. He knows the best coordinator in college football is in the coach's room, so why not give his players every bit of that?
And interesting that both the man calling plays for the defense and the man calling plays for the offense, both on the sidelines, which is rare in this college football environment. 3rd and 7. Rittenhouse sets up the screen, and it's sniffed out beautifully. On the tackle, Kendall Daniels, the 5th-year senior from Beggs High School right here in Oklahoma. An Oklahoma State transfer.
Oh, man, they had this whole thing set up. The problem was one guy didn't go for the fake, and that's Kendall Daniels. He plays the cheetah position. What does that mean? You've got to be a hybrid linebacker, blitzer, safety type. Those are athletic guys playing that position, and Kendall Daniels made a heck of a play.
A lot of different names for that spot depending on the program that you play in. But a lot of times it's the most athletic guy on your defensive side. Got to be able to hit. And Daniels hit big. Satania from the 15. He's got some room. Satania to the outside. Flags come in. Satania across midfield. Knifes his way down to the 20-yard line, but I'm afraid that this one is coming back.
Yeah, Satania's going to be upset about that. That's unfortunate. That may be the hold or clip sprung him, but man, that was a beautiful return. He broke some tackles and showed some speed there, but all for naught.
Sometimes it's that hold that
During the
springs you.
return, illegal block in the back, number 16 receiving team. 10-yard penalty for the spot of foul, first down.
But sometimes you're really frustrated if you already passed him and you're like, you didn't have to do that. That one was probably significant. OU ball when we come back. It's the SEC on ESPN. Next weekend here in Norman, it's the Big Ten in the SEC. Michigan and Bryce Underwood, John Mateer and Oklahoma squaring off next Saturday night under the lights. How about this QB matchup? Bryce Underwood, the freshman, named the starter for the Wolverines coming into the year. Nothing young about John Mateer. Ty Niekamp. You see Underwood, the #1 overall prospect, longtime commitment to LSU. A very publicized change of mind to go to Michigan.
Big Money Bryce is what I call him.
Big Money Bryce feels like a pretty good nickname. And he'll be on a big stage next Saturday night. The day will begin with College Game Day here in Norman.
That time they emptied the backfield. And 9 times out of 10, when they do, the ball's got to come out quick. So the D-line should get their hands up and get their hands in the throwing lanes. But when executed perfectly, there's going to be room. They're going to play off coverage against these guys because of the speed of OU.
8 of 16 there for Satania. Another complete pass. Mateer 8 of 4 on first down. Deontez Lewis, a couple of catches so far.
So they're showing Michigan a little bit different look now. Now it's a ball-controlled passing attack. And Mateer is good at all of it. He can go deep, he can run it and all of that. Now you're seeing get the ball out of your hands, be efficient with timing.
2nd and 6 for OU. Mateer goes to the safety valve, far sideline. That's Burks again. He's pushed out of bounds short of the first down. Going to bring up a 3rd and short. Oklahoma has scored on its last 2 offensive possessions after a pair of 3 and outs to start the game.
As soon as they're trying to go with tempo here, this is a big play now. If you're the Redbirds, you want to get off the field defensively.
That should be enough for a first down. The carry that time by Javante Barnes got it across the 45. They're actually going to spot him just shy of the first down marker.
Wouldn't shock me at all if they go here. This is just something else to work on and show a defense, something else to prepare next week if you're Michigan. But also you're trying to win this football game too, and in this area in the field, why not go for it?
Brock Spack told us that this is the deepest defensive line he's had in his 16 years, this into his 17th season. And that defensive line make a play here on 4th and less than a yard. They make a play, but it looked like enough for the first down.
Yeah, they got it. It was close. The Redbirds jumped into a bear front. Watch all the linemen covered by defensive line. Everybody's got one gap. The problem is they're not getting any push. More stalemated by the offensive line, and that favors the offense. You want to get penetration in that situation, knock them back, reestablish the line of scrimmage. You just couldn't do it right there.
Needed to get the ball to the 41-yard line. The football rests, or excuse me, the 46 rests just across the 46. Fresh set of downs for the Sooners. To the outside, this is Torrey Blaylock. Had a really good camp leading into the season. The freshman from Humboldt, Texas. He was a state sprint relay champion in the state of Texas.
And usually track guys aren't very tough. I'm just being honest. Watch him finish this run. That's toughness. That's why you can play big-time SEC football at the running back position, even though you're a track guy, because you're willing to lower your pads and hurt people.
I'm not sure Dad would have allowed him not to be tough. His father, Derek, a 7-year NFL veteran at the running back position. Look at Burks go. A first down for Oklahoma, close to the 30-yard line.
I like the idea of establishing a running game because you know what Mateer can do. But showing different looks of getting the football in a rushing situation makes it so hard. If you are multiple in offense in terms of formations, but you can run it and throw it with great efficiency, defensively, there is nothing you can hang your hat on. And I want to see the Sooners continue to establish this offensive line and run the football.
Satania goes in motion. Sets up at the top of your screen. Mateer from the gun. Steps up in the pocket, nowhere to go. He is brought down on the play by Mason Kaplan, the senior from Peachtree Corners, Georgia.
Great coverage in the secondary. Matier wants to get rid of this football. And then the pressure also. So he's speeding his look up. And that's just an effort rush by number 14, Kaplan. Watch him keep coming. Just keep coming. Don't give up. And you'll see this from the Redbirds. No matter what happens today, they're going to respect the game and play hard for 4 quarters. No question about that.
Closing in on the 3-minute mark here in the second quarter. Kanik in motion. Matier to his right. Throws it all high and incomplete. Intended that time for Jermichael Carter.
Probably his first bad ball of the game. He had a wide open receiver hooking up in the flat area, hooked the curl area, and just missed him. Usually very accurate on the run and on the move.
Ball at the 35. 3rd and 14 for Oklahoma, trying to make it 3 straight drives with points. Leading in this game 14-0. Matier on the swing pass. It's Blaylock to the 30, to the 25, to the 20. Look at that burst down to the 18 for a first down.
Sometimes the play call is perfect versus the defense that's called. This time, Illinois State tried to bling a blitz off the corner. They got just a beautiful job of calling a swing pass with blockers downfield. Now you got man coverage, and if one guy can't get there, it's a big play.
Needed 14, got 16. Ball at the 19, in the red zone for OU.
Before the snap, false start, number 71 and 78, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Back to that swing pass. Timing is everything in life and in football. And I guess obviously Ben Arbuckle felt the blitz was coming. And look at the blocking downfield. You can't play wide receiver for OU if you're not willing to block. They've got a bunch of guys who will stick their nose in.
Blaylock delivering the hit. You like that, don't you?
I do. I played a lot of football, and I've seen track guys try to come on the football field, and it usually doesn't bode well, especially at the running back position. They want to bounce outside. He's willing to stick his nose inside and run guys over.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout. 14-0 OU in front of Illinois State. It's the season opener in Norman. Maybe the biggest differentiator between college football and the NFL, the marching bands.
No doubt.
And they work. Who do they work to get ready for the start of the season? 2nd and 12. Matier with time. Over the middle. Delivers complete. Aaron Kanik, another catch for him. Started 10 games over the last 2 years at linebacker. In his career, 103 tackles, forced a couple of fumbles. Offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle said he's the coolest dude in the building. Friends with everyone, but when he steps on the football field, he flips the switch.
Make no mistake, playing linebacker helps him with that tight end position. He knows exactly how linebackers cover and where the voids are in the zones.
Blaylock in the backfield. It's Blaylock on the carry. Picks his way down to the 5-yard line. Gang tackle there.
I like this freshman now. He hasn't really busted loose yet. We talked about his top-end speed, but just the discipline to run up inside, the fearlessness, and then also the impact on contact. Just a freshman.
2nd and goal from the 5. Oklahoma trying to make it 3 straight possessions in which they get into the end zone. Inside a minute until the half. Blaylock into the end zone. Touchdown, OU. Fireworks at the Palace. It's now 20-0. And how about the arrival of the freshman running back, Torrey Blaylock?
We talked about his willingness to run hard, but that time he showed me he's running hard up inside with his eyes open. Did you see that subtle cutback to find the hole and finish behind his pads? Man, I'm just enjoying it. We're witnesses right now. This kid's a teenager.
Extra point good from Jacob Ulrich. And with 51 seconds until the half, it's now 21-0 Oklahoma.
Just a basic dive play into the A-gap. And a lot of guys would have been content just running up inside and hitting whatever they hit. He showed that he can have his feet underneath him, be patient, and then explode through the hole with physicality. He's got it all, folks. Again, we haven't seen him bust loose on the corner. But if we do, not many people are going to be able to catch him, not just on this field. He's going to be one of the faster guys in the SEC.
Big day in college football. They got started with Texas and Oklahoma, a top 3 matchup in Columbus.
That was fun.
A lot of defense.
That's what I like. You know that.
I know you do. Ohio State with the win over Texas. Auburn out of the SEC going on the road last night, getting a win against Baylor.
And they did it with physicality. They ran the football. I like what I saw from Auburn. Tough football team, looks like to me.
Some eyebrows being raised around the country. 2 minutes to play in Tallahassee. Florida State off of that nightmare season a year ago. 31-17, leading it over Alabama.
I think you're trolling me right now because we talked about me thinking that Alabama might surprise some people. I mean, it's just one game, but I didn't see this one coming.
We were just talking.
I just told him myself, didn't I? I didn't have to do that, did I?
What a fascinating year, though, in the SEC. Most people have Georgia or had Georgia and Texas, and probably still do. It's kind of the top 2 teams in the SEC. Then you've got this big group. LSU. There are people that think LSU can win it all this year. Alabama, although a tough day for the Tide in Tallahassee.
Oklahoma.
You've got this Oklahoma team. You've got Texas A&M.
South Carolina.
South Carolina, who was right on the outside of the playoff discussion a year ago.
You know what? If we
North
don't,
Sellers back.
That's right. If we don't say Tennessee, somebody down on that field is going to be upset with us.
Madison, Tennessee, perhaps in the mix. Impressive against Syracuse today. Ole Miss was a 9-3 team a year ago. On the ground, that is Victor Dawson on the carry, and Illinois State going to get the football to start the second half, probably content to let this clock run out.
I think so, but I like this Dawson. 5'11", 220 pounds. He gives them a little different look with his physicality. Mason King is a 220. We haven't seen him yet. But, man, Victor doesn't look like a backup running back to me.
Mason King injured a year ago. He had just 1 carry for the entire season. It happened in the opener against Iowa. Hard run there by Dawson, and that probably will be the last play of this first half.
That should have been a TFL right there, but I like how Dawson finished that runoff, bro.
292 yards of offense in the first half for Oklahoma, and that was after back-to-back 3-and-outs to start the game. 227 of that through the air for a team that a year ago was last in the SEC in passing yards per game. Second half underway. Matt Lawson from the 3, he called from a fair catch, so Illinois State will start at the 25-yard line. At the half, Brock Spack visited with Madison Hawk.
Yeah, and Spack told me really it's simple. Right now the Redbirds are beating themselves. He said they're just a block away from having long, explosive runs. He thinks the passing game has to get better. Rittenhouse, though, his quarterback, he said he's doing a good job controlling the offense. Defensively, though, he said they have to tackle better, especially in the secondary. Take better angles and be more explosive at the line of scrimmage. Chioka was one of your keys to the game. The Redbirds have to win the line of scrimmage, and that's exactly what Brock Spack just told me at the half.
Yeah, and this is tough. I mean, they've got, talking about Oklahoma, one of the best defensive lines in the conference. They're deep, they're athletic, and they're very aggressive.
The passing game has been virtually non-existent for Illinois State. Rittenhouse 5 of 11 for 12 yards. That's going to help right there. A 10-yard completion on first down and another first down for the Redbirds.
I like how they got Rittenhouse on the move. Get him away from that pressure. Get him away from that aggressive defensive line. First of all, if it starts with a hard play action. And we talked about that in the first half. Give him that hard play action because these linebackers react quick, and that will open up throwing lanes.
Winkers Wright, the leading rusher in the first half, 6 carries for 48 yards, including a 24-yard run. Rittenhouse, the senior from Geneva, Illinois. 5th-year senior, 2nd year as the full-time starter. On the ground, it's Victor Dawson with a burst up the middle. That's another first down, so 2 plays. A 10-yard play and now a 13-yard gain on the ground.
As good as this offensive OU has been, this has been slightly disappointing, maybe more than slightly disappointing if you're a Sooner fan. Defensively, they're giving up some runs. They're getting gashed down the middle sometimes, and then 6.3 they gave up in the first half. 83 yards, 6.3 average. That is not good enough for Brent Venables' defense.
And you know the team that is coming in here next Saturday, the Michigan Wolverines, wants to run the ball downhill. Play action this time. Rittenhouse in trouble, and he throws it away.
I'm not sure he was out of that pocket.
Quarterback was outside the tackle box, threw the pass beyond the line of scrimmage. Therefore, there is no foul for intentional grounding. 2nd down.
Pressure that time by Taylor Wine, the defensive end for Oklahoma.
And let's see if he gets outside of that tackle box. And he did. Yeah, and it was close, but he barely got out of it, and he took a shot. Now, here's the toughness of this guy, though.
Mark Curls reminded you of those 2 elements. Rittenhouse still hurting.
Yeah, and they love this quarterback, his toughness. For him to be on one knee, and there's some real pain going on because you just don't see it.
Beckham Pellant is the backup for Illinois State. We're going to see him after the timeout as the training staff attends to Tommy Rittenhouse.
rid of the football, but he took a shot from Taylor Wine. Watch that right elbow, that throwing arm. It's going to hit the ground first, and that's smarts. That's starts driving something up into something else, and that's the throwing arm. I'm just hoping that he can shake that off and come out of that tent.
Right arm was a little limp as he was jogging off the field. He was trying to kind of rotate his arm. Coming out throwing and complete on first down. That's Beckham Pellet, the backup redshirt freshman from Chandler, Arizona, Hamilton High School. Played sparingly a year ago. He's 2 of 2 throwing the football.
Redshirt freshman threw that with some confidence.
He did.
And speaking of confidence, how about the call to have him come off the bench? Slinging it by Tony Peterson.
3rd down and 8 coming up here. Beckham Pellet, a legacy at Illinois State. His grandfather, Bob Hawkins, played football for the Redbirds. Victor Dawson in the backfield.
5 rushes coming.
Crashing down and making the tackle, Owen Heineke, the Will linebacker. Had just 7 tackles a year ago, but the redshirt junior, he was in the right spot there, the transfer from Ohio State.
Yeah, and again, watch him play downhill. He's not going to sit and wait. That's the way they teach it here. You see space, you go get space. Eat it up, eat up the ball carrier while you're at it, and trample that run on the way to the quarterback.
Isaiah Satania III, standing back around the 10-yard line, waiting on the punt from Hayden Futch. Satania has been close a couple of times to breaking one. This is a spiral. It's going to be fielded at the 12 with no return. Good coverage down the field. So Oklahoma with their first possession of the second half coming up. We'll get our first second half look at John Mateer. And first half about as good as you could draw it up. 15 of 18. 227 yards and a touchdown and a rushing touchdown.
And of those 3 incompletions, I only recall 1 bad ball, 1 flat-out miss. So, I mean, he's red hot.
Offensive coordinator Ben Arbuckle, I think this was affectionate when he said it, that John Mateer's a meathead. He said he's a football player first, a quarterback second. It's almost like he's a linebacker that throws it and runs it well.
Yeah, that was a compliment.
It was.
when you call me a meathead, I get a little upset. But for a quarterback, that's a compliment. He is a regular guy. He's one of the guys.
This is Blaylock. Flags come in. The carry was enough for a first down, but we'll have to check the marker.
How about the freshman starting the second half? Why not? I mean, they got to be loving the way he's running. I'm so impressed with it.
Holding, number 12, offense. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Replay second down.
That's Jared Canick called for the hold. Blaylock, the freshman out of Humble, Texas. Atascosa High School.
He's shown us a little bit of different things in his bag as well. He's caught the football. We've seen him run up inside with toughness. We've seen him cut it back on zone reads. We've seen him run with his eyes open, make people miss in the hole. He's got it all.
Mateer on the slant. Caught at the 15. Couple of tackles broken by Deion Burks, and he's finally going to be correct.